Alan, you mentioned Brooks Orpik earlier. I'm not trying to set you off. I know you're a big Brooks Orpik guy, but how do you explain the stat where they're 19, 8-1 without him, but 9, 10, and 5 with him? Is that just sort of a fluky thing?
Absolutely. It's just like one of those things where Jay Beagle scores a goal, the Caps are, they're undefeated, and then you score a goal in the playoff game and he doesn't win. So, things like that, you can manipulate them all you want. Don't forget, they won a Stanley Cup with Brooks Orpik in the lineup, and their record with Brooks Orpik in the lineup the last few years, they got a couple hundred wins, and it's drastically in his favor. So what's going on right now has nothing to do with Brooks Orpik. This was happening. They were dying on the vine before he got back, and I think they're a better team with him in the lineup. They've got to get their act together. So to blame a third-pairing defenseman for their woes right now is absolutely wrong.
Joined by Alan May, who's brought to you by the DC Lottery, where winning never felt so good. Play the new Washington Capitals 2018 Stanley Cup champion Scratcher today, and you can win $50,000 instantly. Got to feel good for Copley. Signs a 3-year deal. Talk about his play this year and the 3-year deal.
Well, I think he surprised everyone, and he continues to come out and play very well, although the last stretches he's had in that haven't been very good. But then again, I don't think any goaltender in the league would be playing very good the way the Caps were playing in front of him. I think it's absolutely perfect that the way he's come back, they brought him back after that trade with Troy Brouwer to St. Louis to get TJ Oshie. And I didn't think he'd be this good. I think he surprised me. He surprised everyone around the National Hockey League. He gives them a chance every time he's in there. And, the backup goaltender, it's important to have a guy that you're not scared of and, worried every time he's in net. You're rolling your eyes, here we go again, because that hasn't been the case with him. And, he bounced back. He's shown some strength because at the start of the year, he got absolutely pounded in his first start, 6-0 to the New Jersey Devils. And he went back out and just found a way to rack up wins, to give his team confidence. So I'm happy that he was able to get that contract. They didn't break the bank to do it, but he's got some security, and he deserves it.
Joined by Alan May, brought to you by the DC Lottery, where winning never felt so good. Play the new Washington Capitals 2018 Stanley Cup champion Scratcher today. You could win $50,000 instantly. So Copley gets a 3-year extension. Samsonov is being groomed in Hershey at this point. Holtby is signed through the end of next season. What is it going to look like in a few seasons when Holtby's a UFA and you've got these two young goalies not making a lot of money? Holtby's going to want to make more than what he's making at this point. I believe he's making like $5 million per season at this point. So is it going to be the two young guys going forward after next season? I know it's looking down the road a bit.
Well, the thing with Braden is he going to want to play somewhere else? Is he going to want to chase dollars? Are the dollars going to be there with other teams at his age at the time? His numbers have gone up this year. I still think he's a phenomenal goaltender. He hasn't been treated very well by his team defensively this season. But you know what? Those things are the reason they sign these guys as well, is to have players exposed for the expansion draft. Seattle comes in the 21 season, and that's part of what the Phoenix Copley contract's about, dangling people out there. You might have Vitek Vanacek and Samsonov. Vitek Vanacek was an American League All-Star at the American League All-Star game just a couple of weeks ago. So he's obviously acclimated to playing in North America. So you never know with this. I think as long as Braden Holtby wants to be a Washington Capital, he's a Washington Capital. And you know what? He's done too much here. He's played too well. You can't just give the net away. Those players, Samsonov has struggled at times this year, so you can't just say because he was drafted in the first round and he's a top prospect for them that he's going to be a legitimate NHL player. So, only time will tell how he handles the bus rides in the American Hockey League, how he handles a team that's not scoring goals for him, and he's going to have to be the guy to keep them in every game. He struggled mightily at the start of the year. He's just starting to come around now. So it's way too far ahead in the crystal ball to even guess who would be the goaltenders for the Caps at that time.
All right, so I'm looking at this game tonight, and, we kind of threw around the phrase a must-win game earlier in the day. I know it's not truly a must-win. This team's still, only a couple points out of the Metro lead, or 4 points out of the Metro lead. But they're in a stretch of their schedule, Alan. Vancouver tonight, Colorado home, Florida home, L.A. home, right? 4 very winnable games. Vancouver played last night, lost 2-1 in Philly. Apparently Markstrom's going to play in goal again tonight. But this is one of those games where you kind of say to yourself, you got to win. So talk to me about Vancouver, and do you feel good about tonight?
Well, Vancouver's one of those teams that plays, they play a fast-paced game. They've got a lot of young players. They make big mistakes. They keep you in the game, and they keep themselves in the game. I think if the Capitals play the way that they played Friday night, with so much speed and determination on defense, and then turn that into offensive opportunities, I think they can wipe the Canucks out. The Canucks' defense isn't very good, in my opinion, but the Caps haven't been great at forechecking this year. They haven't been great on the hit parade and dominating inside the offensive zone. But I think if you have Kuznetsov and Backstrom going as good as they can tonight, there's no way that the Caps should lose the game. I think Kuznetsov himself can steal games, and if he can carry on what he had Friday night against Calgary, he's going to be unstoppable. I think the Caps realized after so many players looking so bad against the Boston Bruins the other day, and then everything about that game, the fact it was only 1-0 showed how great Braden Holtby played, because it should have been 7 or 8-0. The Caps got outplayed that bad. Their puck decisions were awful. I don't think they can play that bad 2 games in a row. I expect everyone to have a gut check and to come out with so much more intensity, so much more speed and determination that they're going to make sure that they win that game, just like they won the game against Calgary without Ovechkin.